A sensational archaeological discovery was made in the Ellora caves in India. This enormous ancient sanctuary attracts millions of tourists every single year. They come here to see with their own eyes the main temple, Kailasa Natha, and try to unravel its incomprehensible mystery. The thing is, it was completely carved out of a single solid rock and forms one single piece with its base, like a sandcastle but made from granite rock. No scientist has ever explained how it was done, but recently the temple presented the world with an even more incredible mystery. Look at this. Beneath the temple they found tunnels just 12 inches wide. They stretch for dozens of miles and lead straight to the strangest structures on the planet. Inverted pyramids, or stepwells. These tunnels are not for water supply and not for ventilation. So what on earth are they? Experts are left with only one shocking hypothesis. These are the remains of a technical infrastructure that someone built thousands of years ago. What's more, it could actually be a weapon, and it might still be working. And this structure is called Chand Baori. It is located in the Indian state of Rajasthan. According to the official version, it is a giant well from which locals drew water. It looks exactly like an inverted pyramid, and it was supposedly built 1,000 years ago. However, everyone who has been here even once completely disagrees with that version. This is not a well. Normally, a well fills with moisture that comes from groundwater. But with these structures, everything is completely different. Let's compare them. Here are the famous basilica cisterns in Istanbul. For thousands of years, they really stored water for a city of many thousands. Water splashes in the reservoir, and a stone lid protects it from pollution. But why do the Indian wells have no lid at all? At the same time, the location of these structures exactly repeats the lines of India's air defense, and the answers may be hidden in ancient texts about the War of the Gods and their nuclear weapons. Famous Indian historian and video blogger Praveen Mohan recently made a sensational discovery. He believes he has found a nuclear reactor that is thousands of years old. This temple of Marundeeswarar is located in southern India. For a long time, its territory was closed. Only a few yogis and Ayurvedic specialists gathered herbs here. The plants have unique properties. You won't find anything like them anywhere else in India. There is a strange well here whose water can heal even a terminally ill person. But for a healthy person, it can make them extremely sick on the contrary. The keepers of this place call the liquid from the well heavy water. Amazingly, that is exactly the name of one of the most mysterious substances on Earth. This substance has the same chemical formula as ordinary water, but instead of hydrogen in the molecule, there are atoms of its isotope, deuterium. Heavy water really can cure even cancer, but a healthy person should not drink it. However, this mysterious substance has one more property. Heavy water is an irreplaceable component of a nuclear reactor. It is exactly what fills the space between uranium rods and helps the atomic reaction not to die out. According to researchers, the ancient well at Marundeeswarar is filled with heavy water. But where are the uranium rods then? Perhaps this amazing artifact performed their function. According to historical data, a long cylindrical object called the Lingam of Shiva is hidden inside the well. It consists of several parts, and each of them is extremely poisonous. And this is far from the only evidence that a nuclear war could have taken place in ancient India. In the Pakistani province of Sindh, an ancient city called Mohenjo-Daro was discovered. There they found radioactive human skeletons and artifacts that form only after nuclear explosions. It was precisely in this area of Pakistan that in ancient times a civilization existed which, according to legends, opposed the Proto-Indian one. As the ancient books say, both sides had not only bombs, but also flying machines, vimanas, and according to this version, the mysterious stepwells were part of an ancient air defense system that shot down enemy vimanas. Such an air defense system fits perfectly into the shape of inverted pyramids hidden underground that needed water for their power plants. The center of the emitter was the Vajra, the thunderbolt. A powerful beam burst out of it, one variety of which was called the Brahmastra. The powerful beam destroyed everything in its path. To pierce armor or blow up an aircraft, such a beam required colossal energy. Modern combat lasers get it from nuclear reactors. It is quite possible that the ancient air defense system worked on the exact same principle. Similar mysterious underground structures have been discovered far beyond India as well. In Kabardino-Balkaria, near the village of Zayukovo, ancient tunnels were found that converge at one point, an inverted pyramid. The beginning of this amazing structure is a shaft that goes deep into the mountain and then turns into a spacious underground hall. Its height is 118 feet. The stone was processed using technology unknown to us. The weight of each stone block exceeds 200 tons. Lifting such a giant is beyond the power of most modern cranes. But that is not all. The underground space branches into many narrow rectangular tunnels. The height of these passages is no more than 8 inches. However, the most amazing find was the so-called floating megalith. It is attached to the wall with only one edge and therefore seems to hang in the air. Look, here is another stepwell in Indian Rajasthan. Very recently, restoration work began there. They planned only to clean the well a little. However, even that alarmed the locals. They started talking about a curse that would fall on everyone if the well was disturbed. And look what happened as a result. In May 2018, Rajasthan found itself at the center of a natural disaster. A squall wind brought tons of sand down on the city, overturned cars, and knocked down buildings. As a result of this natural catastrophe, 33 people died. More than 100 were injured. Meteorologists considered it the beginning of the summer monsoons, a period of strong winds. In that case, the hurricane should have continued for several more days. But something incredible happened. The squall wind died down very quickly, and the monsoons themselves, as expected, arrived in India only in June. So seasonal weather change had nothing to do with it. The fact of a global catastrophe in ancient times is practically proven. Scientists argue only about the nature of this disaster. It is not clear to them whether it was a natural cataclysm or a military conflict that in legends is called the War of the Gods. However, the stepwells may put an end to this dispute. If you look closely at how these wells are made, one simple thing immediately catches the eye. They look very much like bunkers and technical structures. Look, this bas-relief depicts 3 figures. On the sides, women, and in the center, a strange creature. And here is another bas-relief from the Rani Ki Vav well. The central figure also has a non-human head. According to the official version, this is how Indian gods were depicted. For example, in the last bas-relief, we see the elephant-headed god Ganesha. However, the Indologists themselves say that Ganesha's trunk is much longer. And these are simply people in gas masks. Here is another well that may hold amazing artifacts. Portugal, the Quinta da Regalera Palace and Park Complex. These bizarre structures were built at the beginning of the last century by a rich Freemason named Antonio Montero. However, the eccentric millionaire chose this place for a reason. It was precisely here, in Quinta da Regalera, that several centuries earlier the Knights Templar had settled. The main treasure of the Knights of the Temple was not gold at all, but a mysterious object called the Holy Grail. According to legend, this stone flew down from the heavens. It possesses amazing properties and can heal any disease. As the legend says, every year on Good Friday, a flying apparatus resembling a dove descended from heaven and placed a round object, a wafer, on the Grail. Ancient chronicles claim that above this stepwell, even at the beginning of the last century, strange glowing objects were repeatedly seen. Newspapers of that time wrote about the appearance of strange airships that flew silently in the sky. Today we would say UFOs, but we cannot claim it with certainty. One thing is known for sure: all of this stopped in 1920. It was exactly in that year that the owner of the estate, Antonio Montero, died. Interestingly, the idea of connecting pyramidal structures with space appears not only in India and Portugal. Doctor of Physical and Mathematical Sciences Oleg Kovrushkin, while researching the Egyptian pyramids, made an amazing discovery. In his opinion, pyramids and pyramidal wells may be tuned to certain cosmic objects, in particular to pulsars. At one time, it was believed that there were no planetary systems near such stars, and that means there could be no life at all. But amazingly, the first planet discovered outside the solar system is located precisely in the orbit of a pulsar. And very recently, the scientific world was shaken by sensational research from two Dutch scientists, Alexander Petruno and Michiel Kramer. The researchers stated that planets near pulsars may be habitable. However, the forms of life, they will be different from earthly ones. Most likely, aliens from a pulsar planet will be aquatic creatures, because only in a thick layer of water and under dense clouds can one hide from the harsh radiation of a pulsar star. Amazingly, it seems that the underground structures in India may reveal the secret of the aliens from the pulsar planet. Look at the bas-reliefs that are located near the mysterious temple in Ellora. Not only does the roof platform of the Kailasa Natha Temple look like a landing pad, and individual elements look like a hatch, but strange creatures are depicted here that in Indian mythology are called Nagas. These were intelligent snakes or half-human, half-snake beings. Nagas could take any size, but most often they looked like a large snake. It is quite possible that the narrow underground passages were intended specifically for them. And this is the Indian city of Raipur. Very recently, it became known throughout the world, and it owes its worldwide fame to aliens, or rather, to their images. About 80 miles from this city, strange cave drawings were found. Among the local population, legends have been preserved about gods who descended from heaven. They looked like people but could not breathe ordinary air. That is why they walked in special suits filled with water. According to local beliefs, the gods descended to Earth in a gigantic apparatus, and this rocket looked most of all like an inverted pyramid. Amazingly, according to experts, UFOs in the shape of an inverted pyramid are not rare at all. Look, here an inverted pyramid recently hovered over Hong Kong. Not all experts are sure of the authenticity of this recording. However, there are dozens of other videos that raise no doubts. Here, for example, a pyramidal UFO hovered over South Africa. Examination proved there are no traces of editing in the photo. The object is real. And what if all these inverted wells are not random structures? What if they are gigantic monuments reminding us of an alien visit? After all, if a spacecraft has the shape of a pyramid, then the hangar for it should also be pyramidal in shape. According to this hypothesis, the pyramidal wells were intended for landing and storing spacecraft. The tunnels leading to the wells are flooded with water, possibly because for the Nagas, intelligent water beings, this was a familiar environment. The exact number of such wells is unknown. Many of them are closed, camouflaged, and carefully guarded, and not without reason. One of these gloomy objects is the so-called Bairvi well. It is located in northern India. According to local beliefs, people and animals still disappear near the well. It has been established that just a few yards from the mouth of the wells, various electromagnetic anomalies are recorded. The compass needle begins to spin rapidly and electronic watches stop working. Indologists believe that the solution to the phenomenon of this well lies in its very name. It is believed that it is dedicated to the Indian goddess Bairvi. In the opinion of many religious scholars, she is the most formidable Indian goddess, a real warrior. She is capable of dealing even with evil giants who in Indian tradition are called Rakshasas. In ancient legends and myths of India, the race of giants is very often mentioned, and many researchers believe that real events may be hidden behind these tales. Recently, several Indian media outlets published these shocking photographs. Allegedly, during excavations in northern India, a gigantic skeleton was found. What happened to this unique find is unknown. However, this is not the first evidence of the existence of giants in India. One of the giants is described in detail in the famous Indian epic Mahabharata. This is Bhima, the son of Queen Kunti and the wind god Vayu. During the Battle of the Gods, thanks to his gigantic strength, he performed amazing feats. They say that with one blow of his fist, he could easily knock down an elephant and easily move huge rocks. Artifacts connected with Bhima have also been preserved since those times. Here is one of them. Two gigantic boulders hang over the Sarasvati River and form a strong bridge. This megalithic structure is called Bhima's Bridge. Here is another artifact attributed to Bhima. It is believed that the giant moved stones and prepared a kind of hearth on which he cooked his food. And here is the gigantic cup into which Bhima put the cooked rice. Taking into account the size of this vessel, Indian anthropologists came to the conclusion that Bhima himself must have been more than 40 feet tall. This may seem incredible, but according to many Indians, descendants of giants still live among them today. And for skeptics, there is concrete proof. Look, this is Rajesh Kumar. His height is 7 feet 5 inches, and the giant weighs about 330 pounds. Rajesh is a traffic policeman. He works in the suburbs of India's capital, New Delhi. When the Indian Uncle Steepa goes on duty, perfect order reigns on the city streets. And here is another giant, Dalip Singh Rana. He also has a height of 7 feet, and earlier he also served in the Indian police. But now the giant performs in the arena. He is a wrestler, and he became the world champion in the heavyweight class. The blood of ancient giants flows in the wrestler's veins. Many of his fans are sure of this. That is why he will definitely be recognized as the strongest man on the planet. And here is another heir of the giants. These frames may shock you. You see 34-year-old Aaron Rajasthan. His leg weighs almost 220 pounds. Despite his illness, Aaron does not lose heart. He founded his own computer company. The profit should go toward fighting this strange disease. However, many Indians are sure that pills and injections are useless here because Aaron is probably a descendant of the Rakshasas, evil giants. According to legends, there were two types of giants. The kind ones, like Bhima, helped people. They built huge structures, protected them from natural disasters and wild animals. But there were others, evil giant Rakshasas. They treated people like insects, humiliated them, tortured them, and often simply killed and devoured them. It is quite possible that the stepwell traps were created precisely to fight such evil giants. In ancient drawings, you can see how people hunted mammoths. They dug pit traps into which the animal fell and then pelted it with stones and arrows. The conflict between giants and people was constant. Once in the wells, the evil giant perished, but not at all from injuries. Inverted pyramids have one more incredible property. Drinking and even touching the water from the largest stepwell Chand Baori is strictly forbidden. There were fatal cases. According to scientists, similar wells contain a huge amount of deadly bacteria. However, look at this video. Indian lawyer Anil Vyas calmly splashes in the water with no harm at all. But how is that possible? After all, the water composition is the same as in the Chand Baori well. Why in one case does it kill, and in the other is it completely safe? It is quite possible that the answer lies in the very shape of the well. According to one version, the pyramidal structure is capable of influencing the flow of time and doing it differently in different parts of the structure. In the upper part, where the bathing place is located, time on the contrary accelerates greatly. It is here that the flow of time seems to focus and moves much faster than on the surface. It is quite likely that the Chand Baori well is a gigantic laboratory of an ancient civilization. It was exactly this way that flying vimanas and many other incredible technologies could have been invented. An inverted pyramid has one more amazing property. It can create breaks in the space-time continuum. In Hinduism, water is considered the boundary between the world of the living and the world of the gods. That is why, according to legend, in the water surface of such wells one can see pictures from the past or the future. However, at the moment when a mirage appears, it is extremely dangerous to approach the water. Many researchers link cases of death or disappearance of people precisely with this space-time phenomenon. Be careful, these frames may shock you. One of the locals discovered a strange object at the bottom of the well. When they decided to pull it out, to the horror of everyone present, it turned out to be the body of a young girl. It was exactly she who had disappeared in the area of the Chand Baori well several days earlier. And here is the famous witch's well in Estonia. The water here behaves in an unusual way. Most often it is calm, but sometimes a whole fountain bursts out of the well. No one can fully explain this phenomenon. Some link the anomalous phenomenon to flooding, others to karst voids. However, the well has existed here since time immemorial. And now we are already in Egypt, the city of Abydos. Here are mysterious reservoirs. They are called the Wells of Osiris. According to legends, it is here that the tombs of this god are located. Water is a unique substance that allows one to transform the energy flow into a range perceived by the human body. However, it is not only water that participates in energy transformation. Huge importance is attached to the materials from which these wells are made, as well as the decorations and bas-reliefs. During the construction of temples and pyramids, the ancients used special minerals of a certain composition and color. These minerals were chosen not by chance. They served as energy filters. They let some types of energy through and slowed down or blocked others. This hypothesis is confirmed by more and more new discoveries. Thus, literally recently scientists discovered a strange reservoir under the Mexican pyramid of Kukulkan. There is a version that with the help of such water reservoirs, ancient priests tried to gain paranormal abilities. However, ancient texts say that the pyramid and the lake beneath it were built for a specific person, a pharaoh or a priest. In essence, all these majestic buildings were gigantic one-time machines. But can this amazing transformation machine be restarted? And what if it is precisely our civilization that will manage to regain the lost knowledge? However, will this discovery bring happiness? Or on the contrary, will it become the cause of a global catastrophe? After all, for some reason, the ancient, highly technological, powerful civilization disappeared. And all that remains of it is these cyclopean structures, a handful of strange artifacts, and these mysterious wells.